Death Wish 3, Michael Winner. He took a break on the second one and then came back for the third one.
It reeks of Cannon.
Oh, it's maybe the prototypical Cannon film.
But you know, when you see that Cannon logo on a VHS, it's a mark of quality, and also insane fascist politics in a movie. Death Wish 3 just takes that, like, throws out any pretense of like vague psychological realism or whatever. But yeah, Death Wish 3 is the most insane fascist movie. Like, it is just about like, Charles Bronson character comes home back to New York City to visit his friend, his like Korean War buddy who lives
Martin Balls.
who lives in some, the one nice building left in this like, crime-ridden slum. And yeah, they're all like nice little old Jewish couples who are being mugged and victimized all the time by street toughs. And the leader of the gang in Death Wish 3 is like, looks like he's like a bald, like he's like a white guy named Fraker who leads a multi-ethnic street gang in some ruined neighborhood in the South Bronx or East New York.
Only inhabited by little old Jewish people.
Yeah, exactly. Right, yeah. But he's also like 40 years old.
Yeah, he's this 40-year-old white guy who's bald, and he's got a red streak in his head, but you could totally imagine that if you took that off, he would look like a realtor or something.
And it's a gang that like wears like face paint, they're, I don't know, like the Warriors or something. Like when gangs would dress like Native Americans, I guess. Yeah, they cook him a nice home cooked meal. But then, Bronson takes his Paul Kersey homicidal rage and applies it to cleaning up this neighborhood, which involves basically entrapping, like he just leaves a car out and just waits for someone to try to steal it and then just kills them.
And his most blazing provocation
is... You say that doesn't work?
He walks down the street with very casually flapping sort of a purse over his shoulder, like a man purse.
Yes.
And then one of the street gang toughs grabs it and runs away. He's running away from him. And with him running way far away, he just calmly pulls a giant handgun out of his pet jacket and just blows him away in front of dozens of people on the street. And they all spontaneously begin applauding. They're all like, he did it. Yeah, it's like he did it, and everyone's happy about it.
It's like,
and then, of course, that inspires the other most famous line from this movie is that character's name was the Giggler, apparently. And they cut to their gang headquarters, and one guy goes, killed the Giggler, man. They had no right. They had no right to kill the Giggler.
And this is the leader of the gang, which has already been shown like killing and raping like at least half a dozen people. And then when they... kill one of he goes, they had no right to do that, man.
No right.
They had no right at all. But in Death Wish 3, it's explicitly the police chief of this horrible precinct, played by Ed Lauder, by the end of the movie, explicitly joins Bronson in a all-out turkey shoot. Where this is why I really love Death Wish 3, because like the last 20 minutes to a half an hour of this movie is just a deliriously insane shootout where this neighborhood just turns into a war zone, and it's just Bronson walking around with a 50 caliber Korean War era 50 caliber machine gun, just spraying crowds of people.
Fed.
Yeah,
he's got a guy with him holding his ammo because it's a belt fed machine gun that's supposed to be attached to a Jeep or something, and he's just holding it. He was like 60 at that point.
Yeah, but he's Bronson.
He was like,
Bronson's a tough guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a bazooka too? Or
yes, he does have a bazooka.
He shoots a Fraker with the bazooka at the end.
Well, yeah, Death Wish 3 probably, representing the 80s action canon, probably more explicitly makes the case for, basically paramilitary violence against urban neighborhoods to just clean them out, like explicitly.
And you're saying these are not good values?
No, I mean, I don't, but on film, there's a certain joy to it. I believe Michael Winner has even said that my politics are to the right of Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
And usually Ready say that, they say, oh, my politics are to the right of Genghis Khan or something, or Attila the Hun. And it was just like, well, what were their politics other than just killing a ton of people? But yeah, like just lastly about like Death Wish 3, representing kind of like the 80s, a high crime in cities, and just the people fed up, and just the idea that just petty crime should be punishable by death and enforced by anyone with a gun at any time, anywhere.